Good afternoon, fellow traders. Black Coffee Trader coming to you here on Thursday, February the 12th. And if you looked at my game plan video from this morning, my today's trade plan, I actually had a really good plan today. I just didn't execute it very well. And I do want to figure out a way to, I just need to look into OBS here a little bit and figure out how to edit my videos. Because I have started recording my trades. I've recorded trades for actually quite a while, but I just have it in one big file. But when I'm going back to kind of do my update and import things into TradeZella like I do here, I obviously go back in and look at the trades. And one of the things that really stood out to me today when I went back and looked at the trades is the thesis on the day was really good. The analysis was good, and some of the trades I took, which I'll show you here in a minute, were the right trade at the wrong time or the right trade with the wrong size. And actually, so to speak, my stop was too tight and I got stopped out, and then the trade then the market broke in the direction I was trading in. So I need to work on that. The other thing too is I think I need to revisit the criteria for getting into a setup. Like if I look at the trades themselves, the criteria, like for example, this last one, which was a nice winning trade, but this criteria right here, I need to take a look at this and maybe refine this, because some of these setups are registering as like maybe a B or a C setup when actually they maybe should be an A setup, and vice versa. So anyway, just food for thought and just something I wanted to point out. But I was really happy with the trade plan today, the way I had outlined the goal for them, or the idea behind the market today was really that, if we don't hold the Friday high of day or the Sunday night overnight high, which we had on all the indices. There's a video that I did this morning. You can go watch it. But my idea was if we don't hold that, I was looking for upside off of that. If that does not occur, then I was looking for us to lose the lows from Monday from this week, basically the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday lows. If we lose those lows, we're probably going to see further downside. And really, that's exactly what happened. We didn't hold these highs for further upside. We did fall below these the lows of this week, and we have seen further downside on this market. Unfortunately, like I said, I didn't play it quite right, made some errors, and so be it. The positive today, take profit trader. I am just, it's not a big day by any stretch, but we're green by about $30. I had a red trade and then came back and had a green trade and made money on those accounts, so that's good. On the Apex accounts, I did blow that one account, number 91, which I only had a couple hundred drawdown, and unfortunately lost it. And had a $200 and some red day on these other 8 accounts that are left here, which is not that big of a loss. The problem is I just don't have much drawdown. So is what it is. Let's look at this chart here, this Excel file, kind of see where we're at. Take profit trader, we are up $60 on the week across each of those accounts. On this second group of Apex accounts that I had a $250 loss today, I'm down 60 or 70 on the week. And then the 3 that I've been trading for a while, I'm actually down 750. And then obviously we lost that one. So we now have the oldest accounts at 96 traded days. But anyway, not that it really matters because I haven't gotten to a payout. But I guess the point that's frustrating to me is I'm able to hold on to accounts for a very long time. But I've just not been able to string together a successive run and get the accounts pushed into the payout area. At least not, honestly, I have not had a payout since January of last year, so it's been a year. And I feel like I'm reading the market better, and at times I feel like I'm trading a lot better, but then I make some mistakes. And so it's a work in process, and we're working on it. So I think I'm just going to walk through the trades today on TradeZella. There might be some information here that's helpful, and we'll jump onto the markets themselves. First trade was a winning trade on a break and retest, long on the break above that Sunday night high on the ES. Right here you can see this trade. It looks like a big risk, but this was early. And really I only got out there for, I got these 2 profit targets hit, and then I got stopped out break even. So nice little win to start the day. Nothing really wrong with that. It just simply didn't go. And then the next trade was a loss here. This was on the Apex accounts as well. And here we had lost right here's this Friday high, and this is the Sunday high. This is on the Russell. A little bit aggressive here on this entry. You can see, we wick tested here. I had my stop right there. Probably should have had, I think my note even says it up here. I should have had, well, I don't, but wary of this trapping. I was in with 4 contracts, as you can see here. So if I would have been in here with 2 contracts, it would have been a lot smarter, because then what I could have done is left my stop above this Friday high or the low of day from Tuesday. And if that would have been the case, we would have weathered this storm, because I got stopped out and this market ended up turning around and tanking from this point. Let's actually go to the Russell here and we'll look at this. That is this trade. Nope. Yes, that is this trade right here. So as you can see, whoops, there's the entry point. There's my stop out. And we really only went up to there. And we dilly-dallied around here for a minute, but then we ultimately did drop below there. So the mistake here is I had the right idea, was in the right trade. I was just either early, maybe should have waited till over here till we got more clarity. But I think really the bigger picture is not that I was early necessarily. More the fact was I had too much size, stopped too tight. I should have had the stop up here. That would have made a little bit more sense, and somewhere in here. And we could have weathered this little consolidation before we got the big drop. So right game plan, just a little bit wrong on the execution. Let's go back to TradeZella. We'll kind of walk through the rest of these. Whoops, wrong screen. There we go. Okay. Next trade was also a losing trade. Matter of fact, there's a couple of these I can maybe show better just on the charts themselves. The next one was that loss, and then I think we go back to the NASDAQ, and I was trading account 95. Yeah, 90. Oh, no, 91 right here. You know what? I'm going to go back to TradeZella. I do want to show you this on TradeZella. So here we have, if you looked at my morning, that video I did this morning, I was really looking for obviously the Friday high and that Sunday overnight high to hold. And here I was aggressively looking for this hold. And I was really trading this bounce. I was catching a falling knife and falling short. And I did this a couple of times right here. So going back right here to the market, this is what this looked like. So here's the problem. The idea was there, and the market really kind of created this little low, and we started to kind of generally push higher. And that was really, it faked me out a little bit. However, that being said, I was a little aggressive in here. I was aggressive in these trades and stops here, stops here. If you want to trade this, the stop really needed to be down here. But when we made newer, lower lows, this really, I only tried it twice. So the last few days I've been, I kept, taking my shot, and I kept losing. So I tried it twice here, didn't work. And so I didn't take it one more time on these accounts, but I did come back and take it on Take Profit Trader. That was the first trade on Take Profit. I really started to see this little hold in here, and I thought, man, we're finally going to go. And it's just, I was wrong. I got faked out a little bit, but I was too aggressive. And we did end up losing. So not a big loss. I think that was about a $100 loss, 110 on that loss there. So that was those trades. And then after that, I think on accounts, I think the 95 accounts, I traded. Nope. Did I trade on Take Profit? Nope. Just right there. We looked at that. I think we got to go to the Russell. So this was the last trade of the day, was right here. That's not the one I want to show you. Maybe it was on ES. Yep, right here. So this was unfortunate on the second trade on the 95 accounts. Right here, again, this is, I've got the right trade idea. I've got the right plan. I just was early or didn't have enough size. Or too big a size, I should say. So here's the break of the yesterday's low of day. and we also broke below the Monday low. This is what I was looking for, is as if we don't hold these areas up here for upside, I was looking for us to break these lows and then look for downside. And that's, I mean, to my credit, I stayed out of this for the most part and waited for this. I was a little impatient, a little bit of FOMO maybe on this entry, but by the same token, I also moved my stop down. I lost 110. I mean, I could have left my stop here, but really should have had less size, stop up here, and let this run because it totally ran. This trade right here was me getting back in it, thinking I could, and realizing that I got stopped out with Quant Guard. I didn't hit the daily loss limit, so I'm not quite sure why it stopped me out, but it did, so it didn't really matter. But anyway, got stopped out on this wick, and then this market tanks. So very frustrating to me that I had the right game plan today, just the execution. I really messed that one up. So it is what it is. Live and learn, and I'm going to work on just my entries and some of the criteria that I'm looking for. I'm going to work on that a little bit. Now let's show you the last trade of the day, which is crazy. The first trade and the last trade were winning trades, and this was the trade with Take Profit Trader. And here again, I was looking for a break below the prior day low, and this is also this weekly low. So once we broke that, looking to get in here, great entry. I did a better job here of getting in more quickly so I could keep the stop there. And that was the right place to put the stop, because if this goes back up in here, we're probably not continuing the breakdown. We're going to go higher. And so, that was a clear spot to put that stop loss. Got out there, and then once we started to dip below, my target actually was, my final target was the daily, I think this is the daily 100 right here. I was targeting that, and we just didn't quite get there. But once this broke, I put my stop here, and I just left it. I actually walked out of the room here, and I didn't bother to watch this trade. I was like, it's either going to hit the stop on the runner or it's going to stop me out here. Either way, I've got a $140 trade, and I'm green. And that's what happened. You can obviously see this took a while, dipped down below, came back up, stopped me out, and it continued lower. But that was the start. That was really the start of this consolidation phase, which I was kind of anticipating might happen. As we've seen quite a bit, you get a move and then we go sideways. And that's kind of the market we're in right now, is we're either getting a move or we go sideways. We were in a market where we got a move and got a V shape, and then we went sideways. Now we've kind of been in this market where it goes one directional and we go sideways, either up or down and sideways. But anyway, so hey, it's a win. It's a win on Take Profit Trader. I simply am just trading those accounts very well, and it's crazy that I simply can't get a win on Apex to save my life, but so be it. So lessons learned today. Happy with the trade plan, happy with the game plan. I read it very well. Execution today was just not the greatest. So we work on that and we try to get better. And that's, I think, the one thing where it's easy for someone to critique in hindsight. Well, you should have done this. You should have done this. In the moment, executing is a lot more difficult than people give it credit for. So I think just keep that in mind if you're watching content or if you're trading yourself and you have a game plan. It's one thing to have it, to see it, and then also to execute on it. And it requires just to do all of those for us to be successful. But anyway, that's that. That's today. Unfortunately, we have a red day, and we got some work to do to get back into. I have some work to do to get back into the green on the month. So, and the other thing is I'm a little bit concerned with the year, because I really want this. I do not want to see a spiraling year. I want to get back into the green. But let's look at this month. On the accounts, we're down 5,400. That's not bad. I mean, we can make that up. We got a couple weeks, and if I have a good little run, we can definitely do better. On the month, 37% win rate. Average win to loss is good, but it's not good enough to survive with a 37% win rate. This needs to be more like 2 if the win rate's only going to be 37%. Let's look at this year to date. I'm kind of curious where we're at. We're down 20 grand. That's a lot. 40% win rate. Again, average win to loss is a positive factor, but the win rate's a little bit low. Down basically 19 grand. So, I mean, again, that can be recouped and we can come back from that. It's just, gotta get this, gotta get it right. So, anyway, that's where we're at. That's the data that we have. Gosh, today, 18% win rate. I had 2 winning trades, the first and the last. Again, positive, our average win to loss 102 to 70, what is it, 76? But you're not going to do very well with an 18% win rate. We need this to be like 6 if we're going to be positive on an 18% win rate. So again, it just, the moral of today was the plan was there. The plan was there. The market read was correct. In fact, most of the trade entries were correct. It was just the size was wrong, or I was early. I'm more saying the size was wrong, not necessarily that I was early, because the trades I took them at the right spots when the move started happening. Just was sized a little bit inappropriately in order to survive. So live and learn, and we do better tomorrow. That's the game plan. Tomorrow's Friday. I hope I can have a winning day tomorrow. We'll be careful. Hopefully we can get some life in some of these accounts. I'm probably going to break this last remaining group of 8 into 2 groups of 4, and I'll trade one group of 4 and then another group of 4, and I might trade them both since there's not much drawdown left. We're about about 200 on the top 2 accounts there, and then the rest of these have about 600 to 700 in drawdown left. So hopefully we can revive that. And I mean, I did it with Take Profit Trader. I mean, we had $100 on those accounts, and now we're up to 1,300 in drawdown, and we're about 49.4, 49.5. So it can be done. It absolutely can be done. So we're down to 18 with Apex. I imagine before that sale's over, I'll probably buy a couple evals and try to push it back up to 20. I also want to see what I can do here. If I can push these, if I have further losses, then we may end up buying a couple extra accounts, but we'll see. I'm not going to go crazy. If I lose them and I don't have 20 right away, that's fine. I need to get some payouts first before we go crazy with spending money on evals. I want to be very careful with that this year. So anyway, appreciate you guys. Thanks for supporting the channel. That Take Profit Trader deal is going on. Some of you guys are buying accounts. I appreciate that. Thanks for using code BCT, supporting the channel. Lucid, by the way, great prop firm. I do have a couple of evals that I'm working on, just kind of slowly working on them, but made some money there. One of them's halfway. One of them's just above the buffer, or the 50,000. I've been kind of up down on those. I don't trade them that much. But Lucid is a really good prop firm as well. And I think with the whole Top Step debacle, Lucid is a really, really good replacement to Top Step. I really like Lucid. So in any case, appreciate the support. Thanks for supporting the channel using code BCT with, Take Profit Trader, Lucid, TradeZella, QuantGuard. Love QuantGuard. I really, truly do. And anyway, just thanks for supporting the channel. Thanks for following along. Thanks for commenting. Appreciate you guys hanging out. If you're new, hit the like and the sub button, please. And keep your head on straight, trade well, and we'll catch up with you on the next one. Take care, and so long.